Hey everybody, it's Dana and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're playing with the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit for March 2022, and this kit will inspire you to be your own Picasso. The kit is absolutely awesome, but my favorite part is the die. So let's go ahead and make some cards today. So within the kit this month, you are getting a stamp set that kind of looks like splatter marks. I absolutely love this like kind of graphic design. You're also going to get some sentiments, but what I love about this kit is this die. It looks like somebody's actually looking at your artwork in a museum, and the artwork fits right inside the frame. Now remember, you can use this frame with other stamp sets as well, but I'm going to show you how I'm using it with the kit today. So I brought in my mini Misty, and I have some Hero Art Dove White cardstock, and this is cut down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, standard size for cards. Now, in order to make sure my artwork is centered, I just like to kind of grab my die and a pencil and kind of tick in just the areas where that frame is going to be. So when I place my artwork, I know I'm in the center of that paper. Now you don't have to do this. I just felt it was a little bit easier for me to make sure I kind of had things centered. So I just have a pencil here, and I'm just adding in where I know the corners of that frame is going to be. Again, you don't have to do this. You can eyeball it. But for my reference today, I just want to show you that you can also pencil in your mark so you know you're centered on your paper. Now, since I have that centered, I can go ahead and bring in the stamp. Now, like I said, this stamp kind of looks like paint splatter, and I think it would be such a graphic and cool look in a museum. So today we're having our own masterpiece. For ink today, I decided to go bold, and I'm using the Hero Arts neon ink. So we have a red, a yellow, we have this gorgeous blue, and I'm using the pink because those colors are going to give me all of my colors because I'm going to be able to achieve a color blend. Now I also want to have a little dauber here so I can kind of soften up my lines as I shift between the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this over so I can kind of get that light outside of my misty area. And then I'll start coming in with the inks. Now, since this is a smaller stamp, I decided to kind of do this blend a little bit differently. So first I'm going to come in with that bright red. I'm going to take that dauber, soften up that line a little bit, and then I can go ahead and stamp it. Now, I know when I'm stamping, I'm going to be right in the center of, remember, that frame because I marked it out. Next, I'm going to come in with the pink. And the reason I wanted to do the pink next is because I wanted to see how much room I still had left for the blue and the yellow. So I'm going to go to the end of my artwork, the end of those splatter marks, and kind of drop in that pink. Again, this allows me to gauge where I can get those middle inks. Because, you know, sometimes when we're doing like a rainbow effect, we kind of realize we went too far with one color and we don't get all of our colors in. This is going to guarantee me I'm going to get the colors I want on this. So now I have the pink down. I do try to clean between stamping so I don't contaminate my inks. But if you do, it's not a big deal. You can just take a rag and clean off your ink pad and it'll be fine. Next, I'm coming in with the blue, and I know the blue overlapping with that pink is going to give me a nice shade of purple. Again, I will smooth that transition line out so it just isn't harsh, and then I can press down. Now, this is such a great way to get like a rainbow color blend is by just softening up those edges and just making sure the colors that you use are not going to turn into brown or mud, unless that's what you're going for. Next, I'm going to come in with that yellow, and that yellow is going to mix with the red, which is going to give me an orange, and it's going to mix with the blue that is going to give me a green. So I'll end up having all of those colors, and it's going to look so pretty. Look how darling that color blend is. Now I did want to darken this up a little bit, so I decided to go ahead and stamp this one more time. Now you really don't have to do this. I just decided to do it because I wanted my colors to pop a little bit. But if you're okay with your first impression, go for it. Don't have to worry about double stamping. But I just decided that in order for this to be, very bright and colorful against my framework, I really wanted to double stamp this. So again, I'm making sure to take out all those harsh lines by using that dauber. And then once I press down, I can get all of my color blends. It's so pretty. And I don't know why I don't use these neons more often. Now let's get to the die. Before I get to the die, I do want to just erase those pencil marks. Now, again, if you don't do the pencil marks, you don't have to worry about this. I ended up doing the pencil marks just so I can kind of see as reference of where my stamping image was going to go. And I just want to erase them just in case I made them a little low. And when I go to put my frame on, it's going to see, you're going to see that. But look how gorgeous and vibrant that color is. Now, within the stamp set, there are sentiments. I believe there's 4 of them in here. So I'm just going to use the one on top because I love the saying. So I'll go ahead and grab back in my mini Misty, and I'm going to place this maybe a little bit higher than I normally would, because remember, I'm going to have the heads of the people there, and I don't want my sentiment to get lost, underneath one of their heads. Then, we wouldn't know what I would be saying, right? So I have that in the middle. And now all I have to do is close down my Misty lid. And in order for this sentiment to really pop today, at first I was going to heat emboss it in like gold, but I decided by having this sentiment in black, it was going to help you read it on the busy background. So I'm using the Hero Arts. This is Intens-ified black ink. And I can get that right onto the stamp, and then I can go ahead and flip down the lid. And I do love this sentiment. It says, I love you for being uniquely you. And I think that's so great. And especially when we're doing artwork, our artwork is uniquely us, right? So I went ahead and I die cut out the frame in gold matte. And look how gorgeous this looks. The gold is just such a great complement to that bold neon. I think it looks absolutely stunning. Now in the die, it does look like you can cut out with a pair of scissors that frame and make it a different color if you want. I wanted mine to all be gold today. I think just keeping that little bit of pop of matte gold really makes this card. So all I have to do is flip this over. I'm going to go ahead and use some of my Hero Arts precision glue and place this down. Now this does end up being a 4¼ by 5½ inch card. So this is your typical A2 size card. So just know when you're going to put this on a card panel, it's going to cover up your entire card panel, which I think is brilliant because this way we don't have to worry about necessarily trimming anything down. So once I have that lined up, I can go ahead and press in that matte paper, and look how gorgeous this card is. Now I was having so much fun with this, I decided to make 2 cards. And within this second card, I'm going to show you how you can use this die a little bit differently than how I have it here on this card. So I will set this aside, and we're going to come right back in with another piece of paper. Now within the stamp set, there are 2 sizes of splatter. So I'm now going to use the smaller splatter bits. Now with the smaller one, you could totally get this to be stamped twice. So as you can see, I did die cut the die out in white. Now between the difference of the gold and the white, you can totally see the difference that you're going to get on this artwork. Because remember, it's a masterpiece that we're doing with this kit. So once again, I'm going to mark out those areas where I know I want my design to kind of land. I can go ahead and remove the die now. Now for this, I wanted to stick with the same colors. And I wanted to do that for two reasons. One, it's such a fantastic ink that I totally keep forgetting to use. So I wanted to go ahead and use this ink and bring it some life. You know, we're heading into spring and we need some bright colors. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to do the whole rainbow again. So I did speed this up because you already saw me do it once. So I'm doing the same exact thing, coming back in with those colors and stamping them down so I can get that rainbow. Once I have this stamped, I'm going to pick up that stamp and rotate it. I am just making sure that the colors are on overlapping, the yellows and the blues that's turned into the green and the purple. It's overlapping so I don't get mud out of my colors. And now I have a larger splatter mark, and I also am going to use the same exact sentiment. I'm going to stamp that in black one more time. And now I have a totally different design aspect where the splatter kind of goes out more towards the edge. And I love doing this. I absolutely love using this stamp set. I don't know what it is, but like in my head, everything's going to be a masterpiece now. So as you can see, I can do white on white. And that right there would be strikingly gorgeous. I've seen a lot of my design team members do the white on white, and it is beautiful. But I decided I wanted to color my little people. So if you want to color match and you're using Copics, grab your Copic chart and you can go ahead and pick out your colors that way. Because I'm all about, you know, making sure colors match and you have a great color palette. I decided today to kind of leave it kind of easy, and I'm just going to do easy Copic coloring. One, because the images are smaller. I don't require to do 3 or 4 shades. So I'm just going to lightly like start coloring in the face because you're only really seeing the side of the guy's face. So again, not a lot of coloring. And like I said, I don't necessarily want the frame part to be what your eye really focuses on. I want you to focus on the artwork, but this is just another way to kind of make the people who are standing there kind of come to life as well. So like I said, I'm doing easy Copic coloring, nothing fancy. I'm keeping the color palette of the images I'm coloring very neutral. So I'm not going to be picking a lot of colors from the neon because again, I don't want those two to compete. I want your eye to be focused in on that artwork, but just giving them a little bit of color. And I chose to do blues and reds. To me, it's a little bit of a calmer kind of color palette compared to the bright colors that we have going on with the neon. I am going to kind of make them look like they're on a date. So I'm making like both of their shirts red. I'm giving him some jeans. I'm going to put her in some khakis. But to be honest, you can color this any way you want. They don't even have to be on a date. They can just be total strangers, right? Just meeting in a museum, looking at your masterpiece. So have fun when you're coloring this. Again, if you don't want to color, and you just want the image to just fall back from the artwork, don't even bother to color it. Like I did earlier, you know, I just used the gold. You can totally do that. You can totally do it in black. Navy would be fantastic. And I decided also to color out the frame. So it really looks like somebody's looking at my masterpiece here. So once I put this together, look how cool that looks. And I'm telling you, you could put anything in that center that would fit in that center, have at it. Put whatever small little stamps that you have. You know, sometimes we have stamps and they're like the little bitty ones and we don't know what to do with them. Voila, make your own masterpiece now and frame it on a card. I mean, that's the way to go, right? When you're giving out these cards, they could be a happy birthday message in there, and I love you message, you know, a wall full of hearts. It's kind of a genius play on art, like going to a museum. I just think this is so brilliant, this kit. Now, I will have the kit and everything listed down below in the description box, but you can also go to my blog because I'm going to also have an extra card over there that I think is a gorgeous piece of artwork as well. So don't forget to swing by my blog, and I'll also list that in the description box below. If you have any areas you've gone off the lines, just go ahead and use a white jelly roll pen to kind of clean that up. Now look how pretty this card is. It is. It's a masterpiece. But you can see the differences, right, between the first card I did and this card. Now the paper I had behind the frame was a little bit bigger. Somehow I must have trimmed it wrong when I was cutting out my paper. So I'm just going to trim that down, and then look how gorgeous this is. It's actually like your works in a museum. There we have it in the gold, and then I have it in the white where I colored the people. The gold really makes it sing, but also so does the color. And look at this card. I made this card as my sneak peek card, and this was done in shades of brown. And I just watercolored that background and embossed it with gold. So my splatter was in gold. You can put your sentiments in the center of your masterpiece, or you can put it down below your masterpiece, or guess what? Just don't have a sentiment at all, and it's still gonna look gorgeous. All right, everybody, that's the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero Kit for March 2022. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in another video soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.